Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is Windows Server 2019 training tutorial, and this is number 33 video in this series. So today in this video I'm going to show you Windows Server file server backup and restore by using Windows Server backup. So basically a file server going to have your share folders on it, and users are going to access those share folders and going to work on those files and folder, and by mistaken or due to any disaster recovery, folders and files can be deleted or discarded from the file server, or might be drive got corrupted or any issue. So in that case you have to have your backup ready to restore to the new file server or the same file server to get everything started, and you are not going to harm like any user data and not going to lose any users data. So it's very important to keep your file server backup always up and running, and you also need to verify the backup is healthy, and you can do the restore if anything required to restore. So in this video we are going to see all the things. We are going to install Windows Server backup feature, and then we are going to schedule backup, and also we are going to run backup once, and then we are going to restore backup also, and we'll see if we are able to successfully backup and restore data by using Windows Server file backup. So basically I'm going to focus on this video on a file server backup and restore. So let's get in and what we have in this video. So in this demo environment I am using 3 virtual machines basically here. So the first server is my Active Directory server, which is Win2K19 DC01. I have Active Directory and DNS role installed on this machine. So you can see my domain name is victorinfosol.local, and my IP address of domain control is 192.168.0.201. So this is my Active Directory server. You can see Active Directory and DNS role is running on this machine, and if I go to local server, you can see here Win2K19 DC01, which is our domain controller name. Our domain name is victorinfosol.local, and this is my IP address of my domain controller 192.168.0.201. So this is my Active Directory server. And the second server which we have, on which we are going to install and take the backup and restore, which is our file server. So Win2K19 FS01. So this is going to be our file server, and IP address is 192.168.0.200, and this machine is joined in my domain victorinfosol.local. So here is my file server. You can see if I go here, remove roles and features, you can see a file server role is installed on this machine. So this is our file server, and if I go to local server, you can see Win2K19 FS01, and this machine is joined in my domain victorinfosol.local, and I have IP address, a static IP address on this server. And if I go to computer management, you can see we have a few shares folder on this machine, like a script, SOP, TXT, updated software. So all these folders are coming from my D drive. So if I go to this computer and see, I have a D drive, volume name is shares, and I 100 gig drive this. And if I go here, you can see we have a multiple folders like updated software. This is going to have a share folder which is shared here. And if I go here and sharing permission, so if I go advanced sharing and permission, you can see everyone having full control. And if I go to security, you can see the domain users having full control also. So any user can go ahead and delete and modify these these folders, and they can delete even files and folders which is here. So we have to make sure we have a backup in place, up and running, and the backup status is healthy. So in case any user deleted any folder, or accidentally someone delete any share folder, we can go ahead and restore that from backup. So this is good. And the next machine which we have is our thin client machine, or Windows 10 client machine, which is running Windows 10 Enterprise. So if I go here, you can see the Windows 10 Enterprise, and this is joined in my domain victorinfosol.local. So this is good. And if I go here and see who I am, so if I go who am I, so you can see I have logged in as a victorinfosol user user 01. So ideally I got the permission to delete any files or any folder from file server, which is win2k19fs01. So if I go here, you can see I'm able to open all the share folders, and since I have a full control here, um, domain user full control, so I can delete these files and folders here. So before doing this, I'm going to take install and configure the backup, and then we'll see how we can do that. So I'm going to close all this, and from here, from server manager, I'm going to click on, so if I go on tools now and click on Windows Server Backup, so you will see Windows Server Backup is not installed on this computer, so you have to install it. So I'm going here, close the Windows Server Backup and click manage, add role and features. So click next, and role based, this is basically a feature, so we need to select role based or feature based installation. Click next, and here is our file server fs01. Click next. Now go to skip the roles, go to feature, select feature and scroll down, and we'll see here Windows Server Backup. So if you select this, you can see Windows Server Backup allow you to backup and recover your operating system application data. So basically we are focusing on data because we have a file server data on this machine, so you can schedule backup and protect your entire server, a specific volume. So we are going to protect our specific volume, which is D drive here. So click next, and now this is not required. Windows Server Backup does not require reboot, so we can go ahead and click on install. So this is very lightweight installation. It's going to take only few seconds to get the installation done for Windows Server Backup, and then we can go ahead and schedule the backup. So if I go here, it's always recommended to take the backup on dedicated drive, which is basically only for a backup. So if you go to disk management, I have here one dedicated drive, which is 200 gig drive, and this is only for my this disk is basically for a Windows Server Backup to store all the backups. So I'm going to bring this disk online, and then I'm going to initialize this disk. So now this is available here, and I'm not going to create any volume on this drive, so it's going to basically a raw drive. So we'll use this to schedule a backup, and you can see installation succeeded, and we can go ahead and close this. And now if I go to tools and Windows Server Backup, then you can see it's going to give you last backup status none, next backup none. So I'm going to here schedule the backup, basically a schedule backup I'm going to run. So since this is a file server, you have to make sure how much, like what time you want to take the backup, because like if users deleted some folders and backup schedule was not there, it's not going to take the backup, and user can back to you and they can say like I have deleted some folder, I need to recover it. So you have to make sure this to users, like when the backup is scheduled and what type of backup you are taking. So if some user got deleted that folder and wants to recover it instantly, it's not going to allow you, because the file server if it like you can restore from last backup, but if some users created a folder or file now and they deleted that folder, you will not be able to recover it because it's not included in backup. So backup is always going to take care whatever new files and folder created within the next backup schedule. So let's go here and click on backup schedule. So what type of backup you can take: full system, system state, selected file, folders, or volume. So I'm going to take the volume backup, and when and how often you want to take backup. As I discussed, you have to make sure how often you want to take the backup and where to store backup. So we have decided to store our backup on dedicated drive, which is disk 2 here. So this is good. I'm going to click on next, and then I'm going to click here, which is custom. So I want to choose a custom volume file for backup, so click next. And then we have add items, and I'm going to select my share drive, which including all my share folders. So if I go here again in computer management, you can see all the shares are coming from this D drive, so we are good. I need to only take the backup of our D drive. So click OK and then click next. And what time of you want to backup, like once in a day or more than once in a day. So I'm going to take the backup in every 3 hours. So since this is a file server, so I can take the backup of every 3 hours. So just scheduling the same backup, so you can add all the backup which you want to take. So I'm adding all my schedules here. So I'm going to take backup on every 3 hours, so I'm adding all those times here. So it's going to start 12 a.m., 3, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., then 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. So it's going to take every 3 hours. So this is good. Click next. And where you want to take, so I have a dedicated disk for backup which is recommended. Also you can take the backup on volume or share, network share. So I'm going to with the recommended option, which is dedicated disk for volume, which we have here, 200 gig drive. So now I'm going to click next, and I'm going to show available disk. So it's going to show me the disk, and I'm going to take the backup on 200 gig drive. So click select the drive and click next. So it's going to give you a warning, you have selected the dedicated disk, so it's going to format the disk and all the data is going to be erased. So we are good, and click next. And now you can see backup item and backup destination and backup times is given there, and this is good. And now you can go ahead and click on finish. So you can see the disk is formatted, and now it's creating the backup schedule, and the backup schedule has been created, and the next backup is going to happen in 6 p.m. So you can see 5:53 is now. So this is good, and now I'm going to run this backup once so we can see backup is happening and it's healthy. So currently you can see we don't have any backup here, no copies of backup. So it's going to give you all the details. So I'm going to run this backup, scheduled one, and it's going to start the backup and going to store our backup in dedicated drive. So you can see creating shadow copy of volume. Now it's started the copying, so you can see it's very fast. So backup is completed, and now if I go ahead and close this, you can see last backup was successful, and we have a backup copies available, one backup of copies. And if I go here on view details, you can see what type of backup is run. So capacity is this for this, and total backup space used, so it's around 700 MBs, and it's going to give you all the information. And if you want to go and see the schedule, you can go to task scheduler, and if I go to task schedules, and here Microsoft, you need to go Windows, then you have option here backup. So what it's going to take, you can see the task schedule which was created here, which we have created from here, which you can see schedule backup. It's going to basically create one task schedule in your machine. So if I double click on this, and you can see what it's going to take, and you can see it's run by system account here. And if I go to triggered, you can see when it's going to trigger, it's going to trigger every 3 hours, which we have a schedule in task schedule. And if I go in actions, what it's going to take, so you can see what command it's going to take. It's going to take this command, and this template ID is created by a job itself. So you can see the conditions also. If you want to modify advanced conditions, you can go ahead, and this is setting what it's going to run and when it's going to run. And this is going to be your history for this task schedule, so you can review this. So this is good. Task registered on this time, which when we have created this task. So this is good. And now you can see the last run status is not yet, because we have not taken any, the task schedule is not run yet. So it's going to run on 6 p.m. so we have to wait for 4 minutes for now. So since we have a one backup here, and if I go and take one more backup, and then we'll see how we can basically delete and recover our file. So Now again we are going to run a one backup, so it's going to give you two backups and two copies of backup we are going to have. So finish, and now you can see we have two copies, and if I go here you can see the data size is basically remain the same. It's not going to copy all the time, copy all the data on the same all time when its backup is going to run. So it's going to check what the files and folders has been modified, and it's going to take only those data in next backup. So this is good. And now I'm going to delete some folders and recover it. So if I go on file server, and for example I'm going to delete everything which is unupdated software and delete this, you can see now in this folder updated software we don't have any data. And let's verify the same from here. If I go to this computer, D drive and updated software, you can see all the files and folders has been deleted from here. So since we have a healthy backup, we can go ahead and recover those files. I'm going to recover those files. So click on recover, and then what you want to recover. So I want to recover this server, so click next. And we have a different schedule here. So if you have a scheduled backup on all the day, it's going to give you all the options. So it's going to give me the today's date and time when the backup was run. So I'm going to restore on 5:53 p.m. click next, and what you want to restore, so full volume or file and folder. So I want to restore only a selected folder which is updated software, so this is good. Click next, and then we need to extend this D drive and we need to select updated software. I'm going to click next here, and you can see all the files and folders are there. So where you want to recover, like original location, if you want to restore any other path you can restore. And these are the some advanced option. Create a copy when like you have a both copies, older and newer, what it's going to do, overwrite or do not recover item which is already exist in recovery destination. So all these type of option which you can select here during recovery, and this is going to give you the ACL permission, file and folder will be recovered or not. So this is good. Click next. I'm going to recover in original location, and this is going to be like recover one file only. So I have to select my full, you have to make sure you have selected all, so it's going to recover everything. So you have to select all files and then click next, and then it's going to give you what it's going to restore from backup this time 5:53, and this is going to recover all these files. So this is good. Click on recover. So now you can see file recovery wizard is running, and it's recovering all the files one by one. So this is good. So it's going to take some time depending on how much data you are recovering from backup. So once everything is completed, we can go ahead. So mostly data has been recovered, so it's going to take few more seconds, I guess. So all the files has been recovered, and if I go close this, and we'll see here D drive updated folder, you can see all the data has been recovered. And here also you can go on from a client machine and you can verify all the files has been recovered. So this is good. And one thing you have to make sure when Windows Server is going to do one job at a time. So since you can see we are running on file recovery, on this time it's not going to take the backup job. So since the server was busy in recovery wizard, so it's going to backup is going to be failed, so you can run again. So this is how. And if I going to click recover, and let's recover our data in another folder, so we'll see how we can do that. And this server I want to recover, click next, and you can select the time and file and folder recovery. And if I go here and select my like this folder, txt folder, and click next, and then you can restore at any other location also. So click browse, and you can create basically one folder here called restore test, and then you can take the restore at this location. So it's not going to like touch your current data, and click next and recover. So it's going to create one folder here in a D drive, restore test, and it's going to recover your all the data there. So you can compare basically data, and if you wish to give any compare data before actual restore at actual location, you can go ahead and check your data. Once you are like validated data, you can go ahead and restore at the correct path and original location. So this is all how you can take the file server backup and restore by using Windows Server backup feature and Windows Server 2019. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.